Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and immediately wished you could take it back? That one sentence cost you something real. A relationship, a reputation, maybe an opportunity that never returned. And no matter how many times you replayed it afterward, you could not undo it. Most people believe that speaking up is always the brave choice. They think silence is weakness. They assume that staying quiet means having nothing to say. But the Stoics understood something that most people spend their entire lives learning too late. Your silence is not emptiness. It is power. Every single day, people damage their own lives not through actions but through words. Words spoken too soon. Words spoken to the wrong person at the wrong time. Words pushed out by raw emotion rather than disciplined thought. And the painful truth is that most of us do this without even realizing it. We react instead of responding. We confuse volume with intelligence and noise with strength. We speak when we should be observing, and we reveal when we should be protecting. But here is what changes everything. The Stoics did not teach silence as submission. They taught it as mastery. And what you are about to learn may completely reshape how you move through the world. There is one lesson near the end of this video that very few people ever truly absorb. Type the word silent in the comments right now, because that single word marks the beginning of something different. 7 situations, 7 lessons, and each one is deeper than the last. Situation 1. When you are angry, this seems obvious, and yet it is the one most people fail at every single time. When emotion rises inside you, there is a biological pressure to speak, to release, to defend, to dominate the moment with your words. It feels urgent. It feels necessary. It even feels righteous. But Marcus Aurelius wrote something that most men never take seriously enough. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. Think about what anger actually looks like from the outside. You have seen someone lose their temper in public. Face red, voice raised, words tumbling out without order or control. In that moment, did they look powerful? Or did they look like a man who had lost control of the one thing he was supposed to govern most? Himself? Have you ever won an argument in anger and still walked away feeling like you lost something deeper? Here is the Stoic insight. Anger is information. It tells you that something matters to you, but it does not have to be a broadcast. You can feel the fire without throwing the flame. The man who stays silent while others rage is not absent from the battle. He is simply choosing the battlefield with more intelligence than those around him. Silence in anger is not retreat. It is the highest form of self-possession. And the second situation takes this into even more dangerous territory. Situation 2. When someone tries to provoke you, there is a certain kind of person who exists in every environment, at work, in families, online, in friendships. They say things designed to produce a reaction. They push, they poke, they test. And the moment you respond with emotion, they have won, not because they are right, but because they have stolen your composure. And composure is currency. Epictetus said that it is not what happens to you but how you respond that defines you. The provocateur is counting on you to forget that. Every sharp word they throw at you is a hook. And most people bite without hesitation. They bite and then they wonder why they feel drained, reactive, and somehow smaller after the interaction. Have you ever responded to a provocation and immediately felt like you played exactly into someone else's hands? Here is the psychological truth that most people miss. When you stay silent in the face of provocation, you do not just protect yourself, you also expose the provocateur for exactly what they are. Someone trying to destabilize another person because they cannot stabilize themselves. Your silence becomes a mirror, and some people cannot stand what they see reflected back at them. The quiet man is not the weak man. He is the one who understands the game well enough not to play it on someone else's terms. But the next situation is where most people quietly destroy their own futures. Situation 3. When you are about to share your plans, this one is subtle. And it is the one that quietly destroys more ambition than almost anything else. You have an idea. It excites you. You feel the energy of it and naturally, almost instinctively, you want to share it. So you tell someone, and the moment you say it out loud to the wrong person, something strange begins to happen. The drive to actually execute it starts to fade. This is not just philosophy. There is actual psychology behind it. When you verbalize a goal, your brain begins to treat the telling as part of the achieving. The act of speaking about it produces a small dopamine release, and suddenly you feel like you have already started, without having done a single thing of substance. Have you ever told someone your plan, received their praise or their doubt, and then quietly abandoned it shortly afterward? The Stoic mental model here is straightforward. Protect the seed before the tree exists. Most people scatter their seeds in the wind, seeking validation before they have completed even one day of real work. Epictetus kept his philosophical studies private for years. He did not announce, he built. He returned only when the work could speak for itself. Silence in ambition is not secrecy, it is strategy. And the fourth situation demands an even deeper discipline from you. Situation 4. When someone attacks your reputation, nothing tests your discipline quite like hearing something untrue said about you. The immediate impulse is to correct it loudly, clearly, and publicly. You want the record set straight. You want people to know the truth. But here is what the Stoics understood and most people never do. A reputation worth having does not need to be defended with words. It defends itself through time and through action. Think of water. You cannot punch water. You cannot argue with a river. It simply moves, continues, and shapes everything around it without making any announcement. The man who reacts to every false accusation is like a rock trying to fight the current, exhausting himself while the river flows on uninterrupted. Have you ever watched someone loudly defend their character and in doing so, make the accusation against them seem somehow more believable? Marcus Aurelius faced senators who questioned his judgment, critics who doubted his philosophy, and rivals who spread stories about his intentions. He did not build a stage to correct them. He built an empire instead. The strongest reply to a false accusation is a life that makes that accusation impossible to sustain. Stay silent. Let your work answer. Let your conduct speak in a language that no critic can argue with or distort. But what comes next is even more difficult to sit with. Situation 5. When you are in grief or deep pain, this is where silence becomes protection rather than just strategy. When something devastating happens, a loss, a failure, a betrayal, the world rushes in with opinions, advice, and interpretations. Everyone wants to tell you how to feel, how long to grieve, and what the experience means about you. And out of pain, many people respond. They spill everything to the wrong people at the wrong time, and they regret it long after the pain itself has passed. Most people never learn this lesson until it is too late. The things you say in your most vulnerable moments have a way of outlasting the pain that produced them. The words you speak when you are broken become permanent records in the minds of everyone who hears them. Have you ever shared too much during a low point, only to find that vulnerability was used against you later? Seneca wrote that we must neither abandon ourselves entirely to grief nor harden against it completely. There is a middle path, and it is walked in silence. You do not owe the world a broadcast of your suffering. Silence in grief is not coldness. It is dignity. It is the refusal to let your worst moment permanently define how others see your entire character. Feel it fully, process it privately, and carry it without performing it. The sixth situation will challenge everything you think you understand about knowledge. Situation 6. When you know more than everyone else in the room, this is the most misunderstood form of silence. Most people believe that knowledge is meant to be displayed, that knowing more than someone in a conversation means you are obligated to correct them, expand on their point, or demonstrate your understanding openly. And so they interrupt. They jump in. They finish sentences. They offer unsolicited corrections, and in doing so, they miss the most powerful opportunity that conversation ever makes available. When you know more, silence gives you a different kind of advantage. You begin to see how people think. You observe what they reveal when they believe they are not being studied. You gather information that no amount of talking could provide. Have you ever been in a room where the quietest person turned out to be the most informed one there? The Stoic insight here is not tactical, it is philosophical. Intelligence is not a performance. The man who constantly proves his knowledge is seeking approval from others. The man who withholds it is seeking understanding of the world. These are fundamentally different orientations toward how a person lives. Epictetus once said that we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we could listen twice as much as we speak. That was not a suggestion. It was a design principle for how wisdom is actually built. And now the final situation, the one that changes everything. Situation 7. When silence itself is the message, there are moments in life when no words exist that are adequate for what the situation demands. When someone betrays you and no confrontation will restore what was taken. When a relationship has reached its true end and no argument can reverse the damage already done. When a decision has been made and continued debate only delays your own peace. In these moments, most people still speak. They push words into a space where words no longer belong. and the noise they generate only reveals how deeply uncomfortable they are with the truth standing right in front of them. The Stoics taught that the highest form of communication is not eloquence, it is presence. There are situations where your silence communicates more about your character, your clarity, and your power than anything you could possibly articulate in language. Have you ever chosen not to speak in a moment that demanded everything from you, and in that silence realized that everything was already understood? Think of it this way. Sound needs a container to echo, but silence fills the entire room on its own. The man who speaks fills a moment. The man who stays silent fills a legacy. This is the deepest Stoic truth about words. What you choose not to say is often the most defining statement of your life. Silence is not the absence of strength. It is strength that has grown comfortable enough with itself to need no announcement. 7 situations, 7 lessons in the art of silence. And if you take nothing else from today, take this. The most powerful voice you will ever develop is the one you have the discipline to keep quiet when it matters most. Write silent in the comments below and tell me which of these 7 situations hit you the hardest. Was it anger, provocation, grief, or that final one? Let the conversation begin down there. I read every comment. If this video gave you something real today, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are not subscribed yet, do that right now. This series goes much deeper. The truly strong man does not need the world to hear him. He needs only himself to understand him.